Hey everyone, in today's video, we are going to be talking about the top 10 CoveredCall ETF dividend growers, which is, it's going to be leapfrogging a little bit off of this last video that I did, which is the top 10 CoveredCall ETFs with the longest dividend streaks in Canada. I think it's an equally important topic to cover, which in my opinion doesn't get often talked about a lot, which is the fact that throughout the research that I did for making this video is actually how surprising that some of these funds have actually grown to insane percentages that I could never have expected. So we'll go through the top 10. I would suggest doing a deeper dive into these funds yourself if you're interested. I'm just going to be simply highlighting the current yield that they pay, the very first month and year that a dividend was paid out, what that amount was, and then the dividend growth percentage. So with that being said, let us get into the very first fund, which is FHI, CI Healthcare Giants CoveredCall ETF. It currently pays out 19.66 cents. First paid out in September of 2011. That amount was 11.52 cents with a dividend growth rate since then of 70.65%. Next up in the number 9 slot is BNC. Its current dividend is 12.25 cents. First paid out in December of 2016. That amount was 7.1 cents, good for a growth rate of 72.53%. Next up is CUTL, CI Utility Giants CoveredCall ETF. In the number 8 position, it has a current dividend payout of 21.16 cents. It paid out its first distribution in March of 2023, and that amount was 11.54 cents, good for a dividend growth rate over this short period of time of 83.36%. Incredible for a fund like this. Let's move along to number 7, which is BASE, Evolve Global Materials and Mining Enhanced Yield Index ETF. BASE currently pays out 20 cents. It first paid out a distribution in August of 2019. Okay, so a little over 4 years ago, and that amount was 10 cents, good for a dividend growth rate over a 4-year period of 100%, which makes it an impressive fund for just from that short period of time. Next up in the number 6 slot, we got another CI product, which is NXF, CI Energy Giants CoveredCall ETF. It currently pays out 10.61 cents. It paid out its first distribution in April of 2015. That first amount was 5.27 cents, good for a dividend growth rate of 101.32%. Now into the number 5 position. It's a fund I currently own. Well, the enhanced version, the leverage version of it, which is HTAE. HTA currently pays out 12 cents. It first paid out in June of 2016. That first amount was 5.83 cents, good for a dividend growth rate of 106%. Now moving on to number 4. Yes, another CI product, TXF, CI Tech Giants CoveredCall ETF, which currently pays out 38.36 cents. It first paid out an amount in January of 2012. That amount was 18.36 cents, and it has a dividend growth rate over that period of time of 108%. Okay, now as we kind of move along to the top 3 here, we got Life, the Evolve Global Healthcare Enhanced Yield Fund, which currently pays out 16 cents. It first paid out in November of 2017. That amount was 7.25 cents, good for a dividend growth rate over the last 5 years of 120%. Very impressive. In the number 2 position, another fund I own, again, at least the leverage version of it, which is USCL, but in this case, we're talking about USCC. Currently pays out 12 cents. It first paid out in February of 2014. That amount was 5.02 $0.14, good for a dividend growth rate over that period of time of 133%. Now for the drum roll, and the king of the CoveredCall ETF dividend growers is, once again, a fund I own, at least the leverage version of BKCL, 25% leverage. But in this case, we are talking about BKCC as the champion of the CoveredCall ETF realm at 15 cents, first paid out in June of 2011. That first amount was 6.12 cents, good for 145% to crown as champion, which is awesome to see. With that being said, now that we've gone through all of the funds, and before we get to the two funds that have made it onto both the dividend streak list and also this list that I've provided for you here, just want to encourage you guys, if for whatever reason you feel like you need a little extra personal, say, mentorship at all, I do offer one-on-one availability just to chat with you all. It's totally free. It just one thing that it does help me to do is be able to get to know my audience a little bit better, and just chat with other people who find value in the strategy of income investing, and also, of course, this channel as well helps me produce relevant and meaningful content for you all. And of course, if you like what you see, like and subscribe, helps the channel out. It's just a very simple way of just helping support what I do here, just to help it grow. So now we'll get into the very first fund that it was on both lists, which is BNC. It had a dividend streak, or currently has a dividend streak of 84 months. It ranked number 7 on the top 10 CoveredCall ETF dividend streak list. Now, one thing about this fund, I mentioned it in that video, was the AUM for how long it's been around, since 2016, I want to say. It's a really tiny AUM. It supposedly writes up to 25% on the portfolio for CoveredCall coverage over the portfolio, but you can see here it's, I guess, 50. So I don't know, I guess they bend the rules. Now, this fund does remind me of ZWB, which is the BMO equal weight banks CoveredCall ETF. Probably pays out a little bit more than this for a yield. So again, for the AUM, and the management fee is probably slightly less than, say, ZWB, but for a more established fund, I'd probably go with ZWB. Its AUM, I think, is like $1.3 billion. So for a yield at 6.52%, it's not really in my target range. I like yields that are in the 10 to 15% range. And the last but not least is Life, which has been paying out a dividend for 56 months straight. It just squeaked into the top 10 list for that CoveredCall ETF dividend streak list at number 10. Now, this fund has a great AUM at $250 million, another solid yield. One thing to note with a sector fund like healthcare in the United States, now we know tech is the dominant sector in the US, but coming right up behind it is healthcare. And if you didn't know, more than half of all healthcare patents globally come out of the US. With that being said, I hope you all learned something new from this list. Tell me what might have surprised you. Am I right in my analysis on BNC and Life? And if you like what you saw, of course, like and subscribe. Helps the channel, helps push this message out to other people that maybe who would maybe like to learn more about CoveredCall ETFs and just haven't quite found that channel to follow. So with that being said, I'll see you all in the next video.